So we're talking about property, plant, and equipment, and we posed a number of questions in a previous video, and we're going to start with this very first question. What are the costs to include in property, plant, and equipment? What are the costs that we need to include? So we're dealing with property, plant, and equipment. And we're answering this question: what costs do we include? And it's obviously, and we can do this, let's think about buying a computer. Buying a computer. So let's buy a computer. We can call it a laptop, desktop, whatever it is, right? So what cost should we include? Well, we clearly need to include the retail cost, or the out-of-pocket cost to purchase. We probably, if there's any tax associated with this, we probably need to include the tax, because in order for us to get the equipment, we probably also had to pay some sales tax on it. That should be part of my acquisition. If I had to pay for shipment or freight, shipping costs, I should include that in there as well. What if this is a big enough computer where I needed to have it installed? Right? It wasn't just something that I could open up and start using, right? We're not talking about training on how to use the computer, but to get it serviceable. So maybe I need installation costs. Broadly speaking, anything that we spend to make this usable, so all costs to make the asset usable should be included. So if we were building a building, the raw materials cost of building the building, the labor to build the building, the land, the permitting to build the building. And if I had to borrow money, maybe some of that interest cost to build the building should be included. If I had to get title, transfer deeds, all should be in the cost of that building, because all of those things are necessary cost in order to make that asset usable. Now, one of the things we always want to guard against is maybe putting too many costs in here, because now maybe you're taking costs that should be expensed and you're putting them up on the balance sheet. That's a no-no. If it's not going to help you make the asset usable, then it should be treated as a period expense. So I had a grand opening for the building, and I had catering and all this other kind of stuff. That had not. You don't get to put that into your total costs for the building. That's not something that's going to make the asset usable. So it all comes down to, from my perspective, what's going to make the asset usable. There's judgment involved in figuring out what costs need to be in there.